Is it even
He was
started?
market last Monday with his. He has to come down the weekend and go
It's got my power like.
We all good?
Yes.
Call to order the regular council meeting for the town of Evansville. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Chad Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Cameron Shawna. Here. Councilmember Daisha Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Greg Lustig.
Here.
Councilmember Phil Berkey.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Murray.
Here.
Town Treasurer Betsy Erickson.
Here.
Chief of Police Mike Thompson.
Here.
Fire Chief Leon Lawson.
Here.
Public Works Director Robert Llewellyn has to be excused tonight. Town Clerk Janelle Under by the rest of the citizens.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, as we get started this evening, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the conflict going on in Israel and the Americans that have lost their lives and some are still missing. Encourage everybody to keep those individuals and their families in their thoughts and prayers. All right, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So item one, the consent agenda, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting, September 25th, 2023, and approval of the bills. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item two, resolution number 9, 2023, resolution setting animal control.
Mr. Mayor, council brought before you tonight is resolution 9-2023. This is a resolution establishing the fees for the animal control services and rescinding resolution 3-2023 that was passed back in, I believe, January. I'm setting those fees. These fees are, have some changes in them as discussed at the last council meeting, and if you have any questions, I guess we're open for discussion.
I do have a question. Did the fee change from 2 years to 1 year? I thought we decided to leave it at 2 years.
Basically, the licensing fee corresponds with the rabies vaccination. So if you have a 1, 2, or 3 year rabies vaccination, then your license.
Okay, because I think when I read it, it said 1 year annual. But I could be mistaken. But that's the way I read it. When you look at where the fees are,
Definitely don't want to change that. I think that was very convenient.
Yeah, it does state, and this would have mirrored the other, what Casper's animal control service fees were. It does say license fees shall cover 1 year period from the date of issue. Every owner shall obtain a new license each year and be paid.
So should we table this? Do we change that or should we approve it?
We could amend it. So how would you want it worded?
Well, I believe we were before, fee would be, let's see, the license fee would be for a 1, 2, or 3 year period, as such to correspond with the animal's rabies vaccination.
yes, that's where we had it before.
So that would be different than for the city of Casper, and that's.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you want the license fees to correspond with the expiration of the rabies vaccination?
And that's what we
Yes,
were before.
if we just word it like that, I think that would be good, don't you, Chad?
Yeah, absolutely. And we weren't changing the license fees anyway, so we were keeping the license fees the same. Just to recap for everybody, the only things that we had discussed altering from our ordinance last week, 2 weeks ago, was reducing the surrender fee from $200 down to $60, so that we would be comparative to the other agencies,
Yeah.
and then adding a registration for $0 for a spay neutered and microchipped.
Yeah.
So those are the only two changes.
Okay. So I would need a motion to amend resolution 9-2023, stating that the license fee shall expire upon the expiration of the rabies vaccination, and then a motion to approve the resolution as amended.
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's amended. And now, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 9/2023 as amended?
I move we approve the resolution as amended.
And I'll second that as well.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, item 3, acceptance of the BGA grant.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is acceptance of a BGA grant. This is a grant that the police department has received for $22,475. And Chief Thompson asked it be placed on the agenda and presented to you for approval or accepting of this grant.
Just to update everybody, we have been upgrading the in-car video and body cameras for the police department. So appreciate the chief going out and obtaining this grant. It will lessen the burden on the cost.
I do have one question. Chief, I think when I was reading through this thing, you do have reports and stuff that you have to make for this grant.
Correct,
right?
that's part of the requirements.
Okay. What happens when, I don't know what the time period is that this grant lasts for?
So the reporting timeframe, as my understanding, is a 2-year timeframe. Every month, we'll have to give a report to the Bureau of Justice, is what BGA is. So that's part of the string that comes with getting free money. That way they're tracking to make sure. I put into this grant at the end of last year. I actually kind of forgot about it because we didn't hear anything from them forever. So we moved forward, switching over vendors. And then out of the blue, I get this email, hey, by the way, if you do this, this, and this, you're going to get this money, which obviously we want to recruit certain money. So in the process, they review like policies and things like that. So I had to submit all the policies that I put in since I've been here. They looked for that and they said no changes on our end. So it was pretty awesome. So it said our policies are up to par for the Bureau of Justice, which is run through the feds. So with giving them all that stuff, giving them a budget, et cetera, they approved it, and that's really the only string that comes with it. So as long as we just meet that monthly reporting, which is due on the 15th, and I'm going to get records set up for that.
Okay.
We'll get the check. There's one part left I have to do with the grant where I guess the treasurer can put in some information for the treasury side of tracking the money. And then once we get that, then they'll give us the check, and then pretty much I just have to make sure we keep up with the reporting. So.
Okay, and that leads me to one question though. What happens at the end of the 2 years?
No.
Nothing, we aren't obligated to do anything.
Nope.
After that.
Policies are up to date. They may or may not want to look at our policies down the road, but the fact that they said no changes, so that says we're up to par with everything.
Okay.
So as an example, if you were the chief of another agency and you had no policies, they wouldn't give you money until you had policies that they approved in place. So that just shows where we have stepped up. So,
Okay. So really, it's nothing new to us. It's just somebody else has put the bill.
Yeah,
Pretty much, right?
So basically, we'll just recoup the $22,000. We've already spent the money, so we'll just
Right.
back
Okay.
into our community.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, there are some grants that have contingencies and strings to them.
That's,
Ours,
that was-
pretty much as long as we keep our reporting from this point to the end of that reporting
Okay.
period.
that was my only concern. But I think it's a good deal. So.
Chief Thompson, one more question. Is there, on this one, I know that some of the other ones that we've done, there was like something match. Was there a match that we had to do on this one?
No matches.
Will we still have to come, or excuse me, your department come out to make sure that everything is aligned? Or will that cover,
Define one.
you know what I mean, like, all of the cars and the body cams? Or,
So this particular grant is also for rural communities, so we fall in that rural thing. So places like Casper and San Francisco, they're not eligible for these grants. So for us, we already had body cameras, and part of the reason we get it is because when I wrote the grant, I talked about how we need to upgrade that
Right.
equipment. So it is to continue the body worn camera program we already have in place. So it just keeps the equipment updated and then obviously saves us some money.
thank you.
So we also had dash cams to answer that. And so moving from the one vendor to the other, The dash cams, we just finished up, we have one vehicle left that'll get the new camera system in it. But everything else has already been converted over. And outside of 2 computers, so we bought these, they're powered dock stations, and for some reason the computers and the dock stations are not meshing right now. They're Dells, where everything else in the fleet is tough books, and they're working fine. So we're working through a few little technical glitches, but we'll get there. So, but yes, so everything's converted at this point.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, do I-
Thank you.
Need a motion to accept the EGA grant.
I so move.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, council updates. Have any council updates?
I just got one real quick one. The railroad crossing on Curtis is slated to be done by the end of October. The railroad did say that now it's going to be 2 to 3 days instead of just 6 to 8 hours. They have to tear out, put the new one in, then they let the train traffic run across the tracks for a period of time, and then they'll come back in and level everything up. So, and again, we should have about 7 days notice. Everybody should be notified, the fire department, police department, etc. And the public will also be notified. There will be signs out there, and there's somebody that's a specialist that takes care of all that. So hopefully they do their job. That's all I have.
Any other updates?
So this year, the fire chief and the firefighters and the police officers are doing a haunted firehouse this year, but this year it's going to be on October 31st. So in years past, we've done it for 1 to several nights, but this year we're doing it directly on Halloween from 6 to 9 p.m. right at the fire station bay. Any additional questions can go through the chief back there for any additional updates. The closer that we get to time, the more information that we will be disclosing to the public.
Any other updates, Steve? All right, I'll move on to public comments. Do you have any public comments this evening? Public comments this evening? Public comments. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
All motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:16.
I did.
I saw a
Yes,
couple
I
follow-up
said-
questions on that grant.
Yep.
So you mentioned reporting, is it monthly? What sort of info is it? It's
I don't use it.
It was my fault.
I get
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah,
I'm so good.
I know that the